Welcome back to the channel. We're in the garage today and it's springtime in Ohio finally. Today we're going to be installing a new set of tires on my Triumph. This is my 2020 Triumph T120 Diamond Edition. If you'd like to know more about this bike, I have an entire playlist dedicated to it. Quick rundown though is I bought it in 2025 in the fall and quickly took it on an extended road trip. With that said, it is a T120 with British Customs exhaust, a full cat delete. It's tuned, and I think it's got a few other little farkles on it. So it's notoriously known that the factory tires are garbage. These are the Pirellis, and everyone says that they upgrade them as soon as they can. And the bike was a 2020 when it was sold, but these are technically dated 2018. So they're pretty old. We're going to cycle these out, get rid of them. I didn't like the way they felt on the road anyways. What we've gone with is a set of Shinkos. Why did I buy Shinkos? This was the cheapest set of tires I could find for this bike that were also relatively well reviewed. Something to note though, these are tubeless tires. So we will be putting tubes in them. It really doesn't make any difference. It's just there aren't a lot of tube options for this bike, unfortunately, that I found. All right, so it's actually been a few days. I was trying to mount that tire on, and then I realized I made a drastic mistake. Well, somebody made a mistake. Blame it on the parts advisor, which may or may not be me as well. I ordered a 19-inch front tire for a 18-inch rim. And I'd return it because it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I ordered this last fall when I bought the bike, and I knew I was going to be replacing the tires. So returning it isn't really an option. Flip side though is my buddy Manny can use it on his chopper over there because their tires are from like 2008, I think. So it's not a complete loss, but I don't know how I did that. Like, I even had it in my notes as an 18-inch tire and everything. But we got the new tire sitting over here. I'm gonna actually warm this up because I don't know if you can tell or not, I was struggling with the factory tire here. Maybe because it's old, I don't know. I'm gonna blame it on it's been freezing in Ohio and the tire was just so cold it wasn't gonna flex. And I've changed enough of these by now, I should know better, especially on my dirt bike. Preheating the tires makes a world of difference. But anyways, I'm gonna start warming up this tire and try to get this front one knocked out so then I can start on the rear. Because today is 70 degrees. Tomorrow's thunderstorms, and then Ohio is going back down into, I don't know, the 40s or something. So Still got some time for riding season, unfortunately. Anyways, let's get to work. It's already balanced. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, that's good enough in my book. There she is. Jesus. I mean, it's really not bad. Alright, back in the garage another day. This time we're going to be tackling just bleeding the brakes, and I might look into trying to flush the coolant on the bike. Currently we're under a tornado watch, so there's that going on outside. That's kind of cool. But right, we really haven't got anything bad. They keep saying like 70-mile-per-hour winds, but wherever it is, it's not here, which I'm thankful for. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the brake fluid on this has never been flushed. It's still on the original coolant, I bet. So that's probably at least 2 years, 3 years overdue. And it's just like I took off the original tires. So I did look at the brake pads. Front brake pads look good. Rear brake pads about 50%. I think I'll probably change those out maybe next spring. But yeah, let's start some more fluid changes. I picked up a new tool to help me bleed the brakes. We'll try it out, see if it works rather than trying to pump it through. So this is the bleeder I'm going to try today. It's got a one-way check valve, which is kind of cool. I've seen other people do speed bleeders where they replace the whole bleeder in here. I don't really feel like doing all that, and I'd like something a little more universal so I can use this on like my truck and everything. So in theory, I should just be able to pump it out a couple times and then not have to worry about closing the valve, I guess. I don't know. We're going to try it out, give it a run. Yeah, I don't know. I noticed that whenever I was pumping it, it was actually pulling in bubbles around the little seal. I've never really found any of those little valve seals to actually seal up tight. So I just went to the traditional way of pump it down, hold it, and then tighten the bleeder up again. I do have to say though, the brake fluid didn't look too bad. And I have to realize the guy that owned this said it never saw rain in a day of its life before me. So this thing literally sat in a climate controlled living room was where it was stored. Either way, I'm changing it out, but I have to realize this thing was basically stored like a showroom bike. Oh yeah, now that looks old. All right, so I started on the coolant flush and I went to check what color it was, and apparently it's either so old or so diluted that it has no color. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a full flush of what it asks for, which is a 50/50 G05 orange HOAX, I don't know, some special coolant that it asks for, and that's what Triumph's run apparently. So O'Reilly's had it, so that's cool. Anyways, I'm going to try to pump out as much as I can from the overflow, and then I think I have to literally pull the radiator hose off the bottom to dump it all out. So I'm actually going to run like half a gallon of distilled water through it just to flush it out. They kind of recommend that, so might as well. Apparently the Zyrtec orange is clear also. So that makes me feel better. Maybe it did have coolant in it. This is quite messy. They were saying this was a slow process. They weren't joking. Goodness. It did go down. Boy, I missed that sound. And last step. Alrighty. She is all back together. Ready for the summer. Ready for a trip. Alright, well, you wouldn't know it, but we're actually still under a tornado watch. Just kind of in between waves right now. But this will be the last like 70-degree day in Ohio from what it looks like. So, no riding yet. I'll at least send you off with a few wraps though. Welcome back to a new segment of justifying expensive purchases, hopefully to my wife to make it worth it. But this is a new tool I got. Let's unbox it. That's right, we got a tire change machine. The balancer is not here yet. I did buy a balancer as well. It's coming on a separate shipment, so probably include that in a future video. But it's not as easy as just getting it here, getting it unloaded, and changing tires. I gotta run power all the way over to the breaker box. Probably gonna have to run a dedicated breaker for this, and they recommend one actually for the balancer, I believe, too, and the compressor. So I got to figure out how I want to run all that. If you have any advice, should I run them all on separate? Should I put the compressor and the balancer on one breaker and then put the tire changer on its own? Let me know what you think. I've got 100 amp breaker box, plenty of room. I just got to figure out how much power I need over here. This ultimately came down because one of our dealerships closed. We get a lot of our tires through sponsorships, or I just buy them for deals online. And a lot of shops in town won't accept bring-in tires. They won't insure them, they won't change them, nothing. And by my math, this will be paid for within like 10 tire changes for how much tire changes cost now, especially on motorcycles. especially the amount of tires my wife goes through. And then I'll be doing the tires on the truck in the next year. The camper needs new tires. Who knows what else. Plus all my friends that I might end up doing tire changes for. With that said, we're turning it into an actual little like shop around here, I guess. Kind of fun, kind of cool. Spring is right around the corner. Unfortunately, I can't control Ohio's weather, but it is coming and we do have some trips planned. Definitely want to do some more work on the chopper over here. And then I still got to do some work on my dad's old Kawasaki. Can't wait to start getting out in the garage and doing more projects. It's been a long winter hiatus for me, but I've been staying busy. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take it easy.